of a poor boy who had nothing in the fridge to eat. For one of the biggest promises in Brazilian football, learn about Endrick's story in this video. Endrick Felipe Moreira de Souza was born in the Taguatinga neighborhood, in the city of Brasilia, on July 21, 2006. The boy stayed there for a short time and soon moved to Valparaiso de Goiás, where he spent a good part of his childhood. Ever since he was little, Endrick was already impressive. At the age of 4, his father tried to enroll him in the Gol de Letra school, which only accepted children over 6 years old. But upon seeing Endrick's talent and his father's difficulties, the school decided to make an exception and welcomed the boy, who he began training with boys above his age. When Endrick was 8 years old, Gol de Letra formed a partnership with Brasilia Futebol Academia, a team that had a partnership with São Paulo. It was with Brasilia that the boy started competing in more important championships. Furthermore, for 3 years, he and his father went to the club CT in Coxa twice a year. There, the boy carried out some assessments. When Endrick turned 10, he was able to live in São Paulo's dormitories. Tricolor from São Paulo took advantage and made an offer for the boy to stay at the club, but that's where the problem begins. Tricolor only offered housing for Endrick. His father denied it, as he didn't want to leave the boy alone in São Paulo. Corinthians was another big club that said it wouldn't be possible to bring the family to live with the boy. Endrick's father also tried out for Santos. The club called him for tests, but did not want to cover the travel costs. Even with the denials, Douglas didn't give up and decided to use the internet to his advantage. He posted the boys' shots in the Geo Cup, a children's championship with teams from around the world. In that championship, the boy already showed that he was different. In addition to demonstrating a lot of skill, Endrick scored 17 goals in just 7 games. This soon reached another big player in São Paulo, this time Palmeiras, who promptly called the boy up for a week of testing. And obviously, Endrick passed. Douglas worked in Brasilia and, therefore, his mother, Cynthia Ramos, came with the boy to São Paulo. There, she and Endrick were alone for a few months. In fact, they weren't really alone, because they stayed in the same house with several boys who were also part of the Palmeiras base. During this time, Cynthia reports that she went to bed hungry several times. There were days when I was hungry and called Douglas and talked. After a while, Douglas came to São Paulo and started looking for a job. Having difficulty finding an opportunity, they had to improvise and, for some time, sold coffee, cake and pies on the São Paulo subway. It turns out that they sold coffee for 50 cents and cake and pie for 1.50 Brazilian reals. Competitors didn't like the low price and began to threaten both, so they had to give up. Sometime later, a vacancy emerged as a cleaning assistant at Palmeiras. Douglas applied and passed the selection process, but he imposed one condition. No one could know that he was Endrick's father. At Palmeiras, Endrick was always ahead of his time. At 14, he was already playing for the under-17s. At 15, in the under-20s. In fact, he was responsible for leading the team that won Palmeiras' first São Paulo Junior Football Cup, being the tournament star, top scorer, and the scorer of the most beautiful goal. There were 6 goals in 7 matches. At the base, Endrick collected titles. Among the most important are the Copa São Paulo, Brasileiro Under-20, Copa do Brasil Under-17, and the Paulistas Under-11, Under-13 and Under-15 twice. The numbers are impressive. There were 161 goals in 188 matches, in addition to being the first athlete in Palmeiras history to win titles in all categories. The base was already small for the boy and, on July 21, 2022, the date he turned 16, he signed his first professional contract with a fine of 60 million euros. At one point, Endrick's father said, "How many times have I come into this room to mop this floor? How many times have I come in here to clean this table, to pick up trash, and today seeing my son signing a professional contract?" Almost 2 months later, in the Brazilian Championship game against Santos, he was listed for the first time for the professional team. His debut came almost a month later, on October 6th, in a Brasileiro match against Curitiba, which Verdão won 4-0. Endrick, aged 16 years, 2 months and 15 days, entered when Palmeiras had already won by 3. He set the game on fire and broke another record, the youngest player to play for Palmeiras. His emotional father filmed Endrick entering the field. Imagine the movie that played in his head at that moment. Against Atletico Paranaense, again for the Brazilian Championship, Endrick broke 2 more records by finding the net at 16 years, 3 months and 4 days old, becoming the youngest player to score a goal for Palmeiras and the youngest to score a goal in the Brasileiro era of running points. Verdão was Brazilian champion and Endrick celebrated his first title as a professional, in addition to being the revelation of the championship. In December, Real Madrid, which was already watching the boy, bought the young man for a sum that could reach 60 million euros, depending on the goals achieved. But the boy can only go to Real when he turns 18, which is why he stayed at Palmeiras. After that, Endrick also won the 2023 Brazilian Super Cup, the Campeonato Paulista, and the Brasileiro that year. The selection also came quickly for the boy. His first call-up came at 17 years and 108 days old. 10 days later, he was making his debut with hopscotch at the end of the second half in a qualifier against Colombia, becoming the 4th youngest player to wear the national team shirt. A few months later, Endrick became the 4th youngest player to score a goal for the Brazilian national team and the youngest to score at Wembley Stadium, this time in a friendly against England, at 17 years and 245 days, scoring the only and victorious goal of the game. This is just a small part of the story that Endrick will still write in football. Will he succeed at Real Madrid? Will he win a Champions League, a Ballon d'Or, or even a World Cup? Well, only the future will show us that, but he and his family have certainly already won. Leave here in the comments what you think Endrick will win in football and what he will become for the sport. Will he be one of the greatest in football history? In a few years, you'll come back here and see if you got it right. This is just a small part of the story that Endrick will still write in football. The initial achievements and records he has already broken indicate a promising future. But the questions everyone is asking are, will he succeed at Real Madrid? Will he win a Champions League, a Ballon d'Or, or even a World Cup? Endrick's journey so far is marked by perseverance and talent. From his first kicks at football school to his decisive goals for Palmeiras, he has shown that he not only has the skill, but also the mentality necessary to succeed in the sport. At Real Madrid, one of the most prestigious clubs in the world, he will have the opportunity to showcase his talent in one of football's biggest showcases. Adapting to European football will be a big test. Many young Brazilian talents face difficulties adapting to the style of play, the culture, and the pressure that comes with early fame. However, the support of your family and the experience accumulated in national and international competitions can help you overcome these challenges. If Endrick continues to evolve, the achievements could be great. The Champions League is the dream of any player who plays in Europe, and wearing the Real Madrid shirt, a club with a rich tradition in the competition, your chances increase considerably. The Ballon d'Or, the award given to the best player in the world, is also a possibility, especially if he continues to impress with his performances and help his team win major titles. On the international stage, the World Cup is the pinnacle for any football player. Endrick has already shown his value in the Brazilian national team's youth categories and debuted with the main team. If he maintains his level of play, he is likely to become a key player in Brazil's quest for another world title. But regardless of the trophies and titles he wins, Endrick and his family are already victorious. The story of overcoming, resilience, and dedication is inspiring and proves that with hard work and support, it is possible to achieve great things. Now, we want to know his opinion. What do you think Endrick will win in football? What will he become for the sport? Will he be one of the greatest in football history? Leave your comment, and in a few years, come back here to see if your predictions came true. After all, Endrick's story has just begun, and the future promises to be bright. Hey guys who are coming to the channel. If you've made it this far, it means you're enjoying the video and it doesn't hurt to subscribe and leave a like. This makes my work a lot stronger. That's it, thank you.